What is going on, you guys? It is your host, Galadon. It is my best ever troll deck. I gotta tell you guys, I don't know, for some reason, this is causing me to have the most fun I've had in Clash Royale, and I can't tell you how long. Now, maybe it's a combination of the new challenges and this deck, but I don't know what caused me to put together this deck. This is the Gala Troll. I've never seen a deck exactly like it, and there are literally billions of different deck combinations, so I am going to go ahead and claim ownership of this one. Gala Troll deck right here. Now the key is the mirror card. The mirror card and the elixir collectors, and it gets out of control. Now this is probably a good deck if you're a panicked type player like myself, who late in battles, when things get tight and close, you just are spamming tons of stuff all over the screen. It's true spray and pray. And with so many low elixir cards, you can see 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. There's all these really cheap cards. It enables you to just throw all sorts of stuff at the screen. And okay, so the real anchor to this deck, I have to say, is probably every single card. But each card has such a big key. For instance, we have the Fire Spirits. They are such a huge positive elixir trade against barbarians. Right there, that is such a huge trade, and this deck is all about building elixir advantage. Now, yes, I realize that's the key to every game, blah, blah, blah. But in this deck in particular, something about dropping these elixir collectors and getting so many collectors going, I don't know why, but it seems like almost every time I get an opportunity to drop more and more and more. Now, I probably am pushing it here and using too many of them, but again, the Fire Spirits, what a huge card. Just 2 elixir takes down a 5 elixir barbarian or minion horde, and that right there gives you the opportunity to drop more stuff. Now, there are certain cards that I have some difficulty dealing with, and this is the first iteration of the Gala Troll deck. I will tell you guys that future decks, future versions of the Gala Troll deck have an Inferno Tower instead of a cannon. You will see that in a future episode, and I do feel like it works out a little bit better simply because we don't see that many Hog Cycle, Hog Trifecta decks anymore, and that is really the only thing that the Inferno Tower doesn't trade well against is a Hog deck. Everybody else bringing, Giants, bringing P.E.K.K.A.s, bringing Golems, even Lava Hounds. Obviously, the Inferno Tower going to do really well against those big tanky cards. Now, again, using the opportunity to try to put up Elixir Collector after Elixir Collector, because late in the battle, I'm going to be throwing all sorts of mirrored cards up. Mirrored Princesses, Mirrored Fire Spirits, Mirrored Goblin Barrel, of course, that is the one that seems to catch most of them off guard. But for some reason, the Princess and her range damage, when I can get multiple Princesses up on the screen, like this one right here, 4 Princesses, the Fire Spirits, and then the 3 Elixir Knight will tank. He will protect that Princess, or Princesses, look at them all, they're all over the place, shooting left, shooting right, shooting up and down. There's another one, why not? And then it just usually, I kind of get crazy at the end. So there's 3, there's 4, okay, almost 4 Princesses up at the same time. And a couple of Princesses can handle a group of barbarians easily and then move on. That's the great thing about the Princess. You're talking about elixir trades, meaning that you're going to trade one card against the next. But the Princess very often can finish her primary task, move on and do something else. Here, it's the Tower with the Goblin Barrel, Princess in support, and we grab another win. Now, I started this challenge not realizing how well I was going to do, and that was my 6th win, 6-0 with this deck. So I started recording at the 5th win there. Unfortunately, the sound did not catch, Gala fail every time. The mute button is a really advanced piece of technology. But we're going to skip through some of these battles. That was another win right there. He was trolling me early on, just so you know. That's why I threw the thanks there at the end. He was trolling me hard. All right, so that was win number 7. Here we go again. Princesses on both sides as time counts down. This is going to be win number 8. And I'm just saving the more exciting battles here. Now, I will have a loss or two. We will fast forward through one of the losses, and then I'll show the other one at length because I prefer to show the exciting battles. Okay, I'm not just hiding the way I lose. I will tell you right now, this deck usually leads to one of two things. I either get completely crushed, obliterated, I have no chance, or I just absolutely walk all over the opponent and the last 20 or 30 seconds of the battle, I have so much elixir, it's ridiculous, and I start throwing to see how many units of one type I can get up on the screen, how many princesses, how many cannons, how many barbs. We'll see that in future episodes. So right here is really unusual to have close battles. For some reason, this deck either completely catches off standard meta players or they just walk all over me. Now, of course, you got to remember there's always Gallifales in every battle, so there's going to be mistakes that I'm going to make. It is far from flawless play with this deck, but for some reason it allows for error. It also allows for comebacks. Many times I will be down 1-0 early or like this, where I haven't even so much as touched my opponent's tower, and I will be able to come back. Now right here, the Fire Spirits again, such huge value. The Princess also helping out in support. Now this guy's trying to spam those Spear Goblin huts. Princess doing a good job. I'm going to lose her to the Fireball, but now it's time for Goblin Barrels. Check it out. He wasn't ready for that. Was he ready for this? Double Goblin Barrels. He did not react against the first one. He's not going to be able to react in time against the second one. He's forced to drop that Furnace on the opposite side. You know that his plan was to go hut spam down the left lane. Now, of course, he almost has my left tower down already, so I am way behind. But again, this deck shines during double elixir, especially when you've got an opponent like this who is not using collectors and he's not directly countering my collectors. So again, Goblin Barrel on the Furnace, Goblin Barrel on the tower. Not ideal. I mean, it does a little bit of work, but check out the Fire Spirits. As I lose the tower, the Fire Spirits take out the minion horde. And the Knight trying to get in there to tank for the Princess. Ideally, I will squeeze that Knight in. But now you can just see, it's just spam. Spam Nation right here. Goblin Barrel gets in, gets the tower down. We tie it up with 45 seconds left. Another Elixir Collector, just doing my best. Here he makes the mistake of dropping the wall. I guess maybe it wasn't a mistake. He wanted to take the Princess out, but he missed the Elixir Collector. Here the cannon pulls the hog off to the side. The Knight's going to work out and tank, absorbing those Fire Spirits. Here comes another minion horde. Princess, perfect for the job right here. She's going to finish them off. And really, it's the splash damage of the Princess and of the Fire Spirits that can control almost anything. Now, of course, there are certain cards that I have a lot of trouble with. And just between you and me, Sparky. Sparky's tough because I don't have a zap spell. I don't have a freeze. I don't have a log. So Sparky, definitely when I see Sparky, I know I'm in a world of hurt. But right here, time is running out. Goblin Barrel back on the Furnace. A second Goblin Barrel on the tower as the Barbarians are on the approach. And that allows just a couple of barbs to get into that tower and cause tons of damage. Now, we've got 3 minutes of overtime, folks, so I'm not afraid of pumping an OT. We've got 3 pumps up. There's the Princess. She's going to take down the Horde. Here comes more barbs with the Princess in support. More Goblin Barrels once again trying to decide here. Double Goblin Barrels this time on the tower between Fire Spirits. The poison goes down, but check out those goblins just about finishing off the tower. This is so close. 2 minutes left in overtime. Waiting for the poison to expire. Will it work? Will the goblins get in there? Yes, goblins do the trick. Another overtime win. 2 crowns to 1. And we're still rolling in this challenge. There it is, win number 9. I am 9-0 right now. And this right here was the first day of challenges, so I'm nervous, I'm excited. And then check this guy out, level 8 at 9 wins. So shout out to Carlos from the PvP Returns for getting up to 9 wins as a level 8. Maybe it also speaks to the fact that the Classic Challenge, a little bit softer than the Grand Challenge, more players willing to risk that 10 gems to try to get in there. Now this time I do go early and discover that his zap spell does not one-shot my goblins, and that is unfortunate. So we kind of know, I mean, right off the bat, that we have a big advantage. But the problem is, this deck isn't always going to give me an advantage, even against a level 8 player. It really has to do with the play of the opponent, and that's the thing. I have a bit of an advantage because of the goblins can't be one-shotted by the zap, and honestly, that's probably the only reason I have a chance at winning a battle like this, is because this guy's good. I mean, this guy's gotten the Prince and the Giant to my tower, 100 hit points left, and we're barely a minute into this battle. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to make this episode longer was because the way I've learned to play cards in the past, for instance, the Hog Trifecta deck, I watched a live stream with the guys from In the Light. Bright Light, White Light, those guys were streaming. Will C, I believe his name is. I was watching him live stream, and if you watch multiple battles, and I don't just mean like 1 or 2, if you watch 4, 5, 6 battles with the same deck and you really focus and you watch what the guy is doing, and you will pick up on little tips of things that he does right, and also you'll learn how to avoid certain things that the other players do wrong. Now, with guys like Will, maybe you are going to see the things that are done right more often, and with guys like me, you might learn what not to do, but that's okay. Either way, it works out, and you build skill, you build a skill set, you kind of know the basics here. Obviously, this deck is all about spam, all about panic at the end, and really about elixir collecting. The Pyramid of Pain right here, dropping those elixir collectors and getting them in order, getting them all over the place. Now, sometimes I've got opponents with poison, like this one, rocket. It depends upon what the opponent is bringing, where you're going to drop those elixir collectors. I really love the Knight because he's a great starter for protecting an elixir collector from a miner. Now, we don't often see miners right now in the meta. It's very rare that we see them. But right here, down to the final 30 seconds, I've got the lead. The Barbarians are going to keep the Prince away from the tower. Now, we do lose this tower to poison, unfortunately, but that's okay because we feel good about this push right here. We've got the Barbs, Knight, Fire Spirits. Yes, double Fire Spirits moving in. The second group is going to make it. The Princess in support in the back. I really like that combination. She helps out with splash control. Another Goblin Barrel as the Mini P.E.K.K.A moves away from the tower. And as we go into overtime, we are so close. Just a couple hundred hit points to go. And yes, I drop another Elixir Collector. Got the cannon on defense. Really, a lot of the stuff just putting down so I could rotate through. Now, I do have to stop that Prince or we're going to be in big trouble. But here it comes. Fire Spirits get the job done. That is GG. I dropped the good game. And again, shout out to Carlos of the PvP Returns for being well-mannered and being a level 8 with 9 wins in the challenge. Now that was win number 10. We were 10-1 at this point. Fast forward to the end of this battle, we grab another close one, and this is going to put us up 11-1. So 11 wins, 1 loss. The very next win, and we win our very first challenge. So yes, the nerves, the tension is real. Okay, you could cut the tension with a knife. And here it comes. And of course, the added pressure of knowing that Paul O from K-Boom also is at 11 wins. Whichever one of us comes out the victor in this one is going to win the challenge and the maximum prize for the Classic Challenge. He starts out with a giant right on the water. And this right here, one of the reasons that I switched over to using the Inferno Tower, you can see that Inferno would have made a big difference right there, especially had I been able to drop the Knight in behind the Giant. The Knight goes after the Bomber right away, and then the Inferno Tower takes the Giant down. Now, it does work out well anyway, but just so many players are bringing big tank-style cards that I've decided that the Inferno Tower is probably better to use in these situations. Again, it's about the same results in that I either get smashed or I just destroy opponents. Now right there, that was a tough trade for me. 3 for the cannon versus 2 for the spear goblins. Didn't work out. I didn't have my Knight up. Would have preferred to have the Knight just because he could have moved on and put some pressure on the tower there. Defensive stuff like that, especially a cannon, just doesn't do a great deal. Now, he will get a couple of shots. Okay. He gets 1 shot on the Giant. And again, the Giant moving in there. And despite all of this damage, the Giant gets to the tower. Now, I did drop another Collector. I got a little aggressive right there. But that's what this deck is about. If you're not a risk taker, if you're not willing to live on the edge, then don't try this deck, because it does involve a lot of really risky moves, and it's a gamble. It doesn't work out every single time, but for some reason for me, it's worth it. Like, the pain of losing with this deck isn't as severe as the joy I get in winning because of the way the wins go down. I guess I would compare it to like playing a higher level player who has higher level cards. When you win, you're like, yeah, did you see that? You want to share it in clan chat, show all your friends, and when you lose, you're kind of like, well, you know, it should work out this way because I'm a lower level player, or like this, well, because I'm using this troll deck and I'm making all these crazy troll moves, like aggressive elixir collectors or multiple princesses. All right, here's another example of the Giant getting through. The Barbs control the Musketeer, turn to go after the Giant, try to throw a Knight in there as well. The Fireball gets great value on me, and the Giant gets to the tower, gets a couple hundred more hit points off, and things are looking tough. Now, there's a spectator over there, and I have to speak to this. I don't know what's going on with spectator mode right now. I really, really sincerely hope there is a delay in spectator mode, but I have a feeling there's not. So, but we'll see. We will talk about that in a future episode. I'm hoping that something gets changed right away to that because the potential for exploitation is there. And I don't know. That's not one of my friends watching. I'm just telling you that right now. That's not one of my buddies. I don't know who that is. That's obviously one of Paulo's friends. And what's going on over there? Could there be transfer of information? I don't know. Anyway, okay, so we were going to almost get this tower down. Look at the princess. If she had just stayed on the tower, 2 more shots. Here comes the goblin barrel. It's looking good. The goblin barrel should be able to do the trick. Yet, no, the arrows take the goblin barrel down. And right there was my big gamble, just trying to get the goblin barrel in. Doesn't work out, and I lose it. And this was at 11 wins, you guys, so I'm now 11-2. Oh my gosh. And seriously, my heart is racing. No game should make my heart rate go this fast. It's like I'm running a 7-minute mile right now. I mean, I am just panicked. This is my last chance. It's me and Hugo LaBoss. And again, we both have 11 wins, so it's going to be a tough one. You know that both of these players are, okay, you know that he's good. You know that I'm just getting lucky. But, so here we go. Both players with 11 wins and me with a troll deck. Love this starting hand, though. My ideal starting hand is going to have the Elixir Collector and the Knight in it, because the Knight is my card that's always ready to stop the Miner. Now, this was super risky. Right here, if players do push hard in the beginning, I get wiped out. I mean, spending 11 Elixir at the start of a battle, how dumb is that? It is just not a wise move. Especially, well, it gives your opponent a window anyway. He had a window of opportunity there to push. Now, he didn't use it, and basically the whole tempo of the game is in my favor now. Because he didn't throw a river push, you know, Hog Rider, Mini P.E.K.K.A, Fire Spirit, something like that. Now I've got this big early Elixir advantage. You can see he's not countering. I've got 3 up now, and he is not anywhere near pushing towards one of my towers. So yes, there are some of you that will insist that the only reason I'm winning these battles is because I'm playing opponents that are making terrible mistakes who are terrible players. But you can't argue against the fact that if a guy's won 11 wins, he's doing something right. Okay, now he could be a bad player playing against worse players. I mean, that's always possible. But at the same time, he's done something to win 11 battles and lose 2 or less at that point. Now here comes the cannon. It is going to pull the Hog Rider off. The Knight is going to handle the Witch, and because I have all these 2 or 3 Elixir cheap cards, I'm able to throw the Goblin Barrel off to the left and got the arrows, baited out the arrows. Here comes the second Goblin Barrel. Love this move. Yes, he didn't have any answer for it, and there goes the tower. Double Goblin Barrels. It's such an old trick. That trick was like back at the beginning of the game. People were getting caught off guard, but maybe it's like clothing styles, maybe it's like music, certain things come back in fashion. Now this guy's got a Goblin Barrel of his own, and he tries to get me with it. You can see that I was able to control it. Again, the Giant is going to get there. He's got the arrows to take out the Princess, but they wake up the King in the process. That helps out a little bit. He's not happy. 30 seconds left, and now it's just a matter of trying to protect this Elixir Collector. I can feel it. I can taste the victory right here. I'm so close. Barbarians to help stop the Hog Rider, Fire Spirits, and now I'm just, again, panic deployment, spray and pray. Fire Spirits, mirrored Fire Spirits, another cannon. Let's go with Princess's Knight, whatever it takes. Anybody to stop this push. You can see we got to stop the goblins. Here comes some arrows. Looks like it's going to be okay. 8 seconds left. He drops the good luck. Well played, and you never know. Good luck? Okay, good game. Thumbs up. Thank you. We got it. Finally, the very first time I've played the regular challenge, and I did it with a troll deck, and we grabbed the 12th victory. And crazy. I mean, I'm obviously not doing it for the card rewards, you guys, but there it is. And I got the achievement. Challenge streak, finally got the 3rd star. And there is my challenge chest with a whopping 100 cards in it. And a guaranteed, I'm kidding, there's no guaranteed legendary in here. It would be nice if there were, but unfortunately, you know me, I kind of have a legendary curse, you guys. And so the final card is an epic P.E.K.K.A. But the big key right over here, there it is. 3 stars. Hashtag feels good, man. Got the achievement. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. About 20 minutes of this crazy troll deck, and there will be more in the future, I guarantee you. Thank you guys once again for your time. Hashtag Galafam. I truly am grateful for every viewer and subscriber and hope to see you all back here again tomorrow for more full attacks.
Gallagher, 20 minutes? I didn't know you could stay awake for that long without a nap.